Alright guys, we are headed down to the city. It is Easter Sunday, and I got the dump trailer behind me. We have some work to do in the city, so dump trailer's going down. I gotta go to a family party anyway, so it makes sense to get it down here, and we'll get going with that. So, we are at sort of, I guess really every subscriber to me is a big deal, because I guess YouTube creators, I guess, don't really feel like they deserve any, so the fact that there's any makes me proud and happy and whatnot. So I want to say thank you for helping me reach, I think it's 168 now, or sorry, 268. That's why it's like, wow, I passed 250. That's crazy. So we're at 268, I think, and it's huge that has occurred, because we're more than a quarter of a way to 1,000. So if you guys can take the time out of your day to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, and if you like the video, give it a like and go ahead and throw a comment. I love reading them, so please do so. I really appreciate it. I was just jamming to some tunes. Now, this drive gave me a lot, because, I mean, you're not going very fast when you're towing a trailer, so there's plenty of time to kind of, think about things. Where I'd like, I made a video when I first started making YouTube videos about where I saw the channel going, and largely staying consistent. I want to continue showing all the things to do in Michigan, and also kind of show what we Michiganders do for fun, and what activities we participate in, what challenges we come across the way, that sort of thing. And in a lot of ways the channel has been about my truck, but then in a lot of ways it's about other things, because we don't just own trucks here in Michigan, we work with them, and I'm sure that's the case everywhere. I'm not saying that other states don't work with the trucks, but it's not just a fashion statement. It's not a fashion statement at all. I have been wearing the same type of clothes since I've been a little kid. Wear jeans and a Carhartt shirt, and it's either a t-shirt or a long sleeve, depending on the season, or my standard work pants with a bunch of pockets, my cargo work pants. I am not a fashionable person, so my truck isn't really a fashion statement. It's really what I like. It's a reflection of who I am as a person, is the way my truck looks, and it's not meant for anyone else. I don't really care what anybody thinks. It's what I like. So been thinking a little bit about how I'd like to see this channel go, and I want to keep doing projects, and I want to keep doing outdoor projects and more indoor projects in terms of welding, fabrication. That's kind of where I came from in terms of when I became a young adult. Those are the things that I really liked. Also, trail riding this year opened up a huge opportunity with starting to snowmobile. It's a recreational sport that I've always wanted to do, and I did it this year, and I did it in relatively spectacular fashion. 1,780 something miles of riding this year. That's US miles, and I will make a video on the Canada trip. It's been crazy since I got home. In fact, tomorrow's a good day, or the day after that actually, because I got to bring my sled in to get I got to get the coolant flushed and checked. I had to add some when I was in Hearst, Ontario, which is like one of the most northern points of populated Canada, unpopulated Ontario. So I was in the middle of nowhere, and I noticed it was a little bit low, and I put some in that I thought would mix well, and it did. It got me the rest of the way home and everything else, but I want to flush it all out and have all new Skidoo stuff put back in. Just one of those weird things that happened, and had to roll the punches. But I was listening. Music is a huge part of my life. I wish I was more talented. I'm not. I was a trumpet player in middle school. I stopped playing in high school, not because I wasn't good enough. I was pretty good. I did a lot of solo and ensemble stuff, and I've always had first, place ribbons or whatever or you get a 1 or whatever for, or is it A? I can't remember. Whatever it is, I had whatever. Whenever I did my solo stuff, I was always the highest ribbon you could get, is what I'm trying to say. I was a pretty good trumpet player, but I just didn't like playing with people that were jerks that much. So I stopped playing trumpet. Not stopped, I only play for myself now, which I need to play more of. I've been sort of teaching myself how to play guitar, because I've always been a huge rock and roll fan. Music is a really big part of my life, and I don't mean that I'm a creator of music, because I'm not. I would like to get to the point where maybe I could play guitar enough where it wasn't, like, painful to listen to. But I was listening to Ozzy's new album, and rock and roll's, one of my main things that I like. And I was thinking, how awesome it would be, and not a lot of YouTube channels do this when they get big. And I understand, because you're running it like a business, and you don't want to give away a whole bunch of potential income because of, not having music. There's only a couple YouTube channels that pay the money it is to be able to play good music, and my goal is to keep making interesting content and make it more high quality. And someday, if it ever gets to the point of being like run like a business, I'd like to have, you know, an editing employee and maybe a couple people to help me film and stuff, so that I can be more in the video as opposed to behind the video. But I'd really like to have my favorite music, and especially you guys who like music know what I mean when I say this, the right song for the situation. There's certain songs that, you know, pump you up. There's certain songs that relax you. There's certain songs that bring you down a little bit when things are a little crazy and you want to just chill. So I want to have the right music for the right situation. And that's exactly what I'd like to do, is have the music we all love and enjoy, not just electronic thing that you could make with a synthesizer or whatever. I want to have music that we all know, and you're like, oh yeah, that's one of my favorite rock songs by them, and it's playing in my video. That's what I'd like to have happen. So we will see when we get to that point, but that's my goal, is I want to bring quality content that also has a quality soundtrack. Like, you know, great movies that have really good soundtracks, like John Wick, or what's another one that has a really good soundtrack? Well, Cars, like, you know, animated show for kids. I'm an adult and I still like Cars. But movies that have a great soundtrack. I think Lincoln Lawyer had a good soundtrack too, but just music is a big part of our lives. I don't know if it's maybe if there's any people who aren't from the United States, maybe Canadians or, you know, Europeans or whatever, comment and tell me if music is as big a part of your lives as it is the United States. Like, we have great songs. Like, I'm from the Detroit area, so Kiss, you know, is a Detroit band, and when you hear their songs, especially when they're referencing Detroit, like Detroit Rock City, it's like, hell yeah, we're from Michigan and this is our song, you know. And then you got Eminem is, of course, and I'm not like a huge rap person, but you kind of have to, from Michigan, you know who Eminem is. And there's certain time and place, I think, for, you know, if you're a rock and roll guy, there's usually a time and a place when there's, maybe you're into something like Eminem or whatever. But, you know, he's got songs, welcome to Detroit City, Detroit City, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's kind of the time and place for the right kind of music. So, I'd like to get to that point of doing that. So, this is a little bit of a extended opener here. I'm going down the city not only for Easter, but I have an appointment at my local driveline shop to get a front locker put into my truck. It'll be an Eaton e-locker. It'll be wired, I hope, to the number 6 switch up here. So I can just flip that switch and be good to go. It's a number 6? Yeah, I think it's number 6. The farthest one away, whatever the farthest one away is. I have sunglasses on and they're polarized, so it's actually really hard to see. But I'm hoping the switch, the farthest one away, is the one I can flip for that. So it'll be wired right up to the factory Ford aux system. And we're going to get to a point where we have this thing outfitted with maybe some rock lights and some other LEDs and stuff. I've kind of gotten by with the way it is because, honestly, it's good enough. I try not to put this truck in a whole lot of jeopardy in terms of driving. Obviously, I've driven in the dark. I've driven a lot in the dark. But I also don't have any interest in destroying my truck. So when I'm driving in the dark, I'm driving slow. And I'm not overdriving my headlights. So I did not order the LED headlights that could have come with the truck, because I really don't like them. They look terrible, and they try to look like you're an Audi driver. And I don't like trying to look like I'm a German car owner. So I don't like the brackets. You know, the stupid C brackets. I hate those. So I didn't order the LEDs, and I don't want them. I would much rather pay, $1,200 for a really good light bar than I would pay whatever $1,800 or $1,900 it was for those stupid LED headlights that look terrible. So, but I've never had a problem. I have the fog lights in between the fog lights and the headlights, and I haven't done the Bambi mode yet. Now you can. Looks like we got some brake lights coming on up here. What's going on? That guy's stopping. No, we're good. This is a pretty notorious portion of Interstate 94 here. There's a lot of accidents that happen in these twists here that I'm making the video in, but I'm trying to be careful and smart. I mean, I am towing a big trailer behind me, but there's not that many people on the road, surprisingly, that Easter. Anyway, I'm going down to my local driveline shop, and as of yet, I don't have a relationship with them that I'm going to be able to film inside. Maybe in the future, as the channel gets bigger, I'll be able to do that, but I don't want to be a jerk. I'm just still a peon, so maybe I'd like to get to the point where the channel's got enough clout to, maybe do a tour of things like that. It'd be really, really cool. But we're not at that point yet, as much as I'd like to, because I think seeing how things work is really cool, and I know other people do too. But we have a lot of great videos ahead. I just dissected a 5.3 LS engine that blew up. I had tuned it, and it lasted about 90,000 miles with my tuning. About 40 of it was in a straight axle swapped half ton. This was a redheaded stepchild of a truck. It started out being 60E, a 4L60E truck, and then it got NV 4500 swapped. When that transmission bit the dust, it had 35s, and the kid beat the tar out of it. So the engine died with about 350,000 miles on it. And it'll be really cool to show you just how good a condition the engine is in. At first, a 350,000 mile LS engine I've ever seen. Mine had 200,000 miles, and I thought it was clean, which it was. But at 350, you expect to start seeing some pretty serious, ridge on the bore where the piston. This is the wrong video for this. All I'm getting at is there's some cool stuff coming up. Okay, so this will kind of be the start of the differential install. And, so this is kind of like your vlogging thing that YouTubers do. So I'm sorry there's not a lot of action, but I'm trying to communicate with you guys and get, one-on-one and whatnot. So, yeah. So thank you all for watching, and this will be continued with the differential being installed in the truck, but I won't be doing the install, and nor will I probably be able to film it, but we'll talk about getting the electrical hooked up afterwards and all that kind of fun stuff. So we'll talk later, and you guys have an awesome day.